Well, hey everybody, and welcome to Workshop Studios. Today's project is a Vornado, right there, Vornado, fan that has something wrong with it. So we're going to take a look and see if we can figure it out. All right, well, these are a fairly well-known brand. You can see it there, Vornado, and that was all tucked in there. It does kind of go together nicely. And I know that there's something wrong because if I plug it in, the motor sounds like it's trying to start, but it's not going anywhere. So what I want to do is get to the motor and blades and see if I can get it started again, and see if there's maybe a little bit of oil on the bearings in the motor would take care of it. So let's do that. So taking things like this apart can be a bit of a challenge because they're designed to look very smooth and they don't have any screws showing on them. And I tried pulling this grill off of here. That didn't seem to work, and I don't want to break it. So another place to start is I always look at the bottom, and I've taken one off already so you can see it. These little rubber things come out and they leave some screws available to look at. So, and they just pull out like that. You just sort of pry them out with your finger. And then we'll take those screws out and see what we see. All right, so I'll loosen those screws up. Let's take the bottom off and have a look-see. Oh, okay. Not much to look at there. There is this in the middle, this one here, which could be the one that holds everything together. Let's take that out of there as well. Well, it gets down that far. And I see some more screws. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's take those out and see if that helps us. Come on, you. Get out of the way there. So let me go ahead and do that while off screen. Well, I'll just show you real quick. So I like these little screwdrivers, these guys, power screwdrivers. It's very small for like my bench work here. I don't need to have a lot of power, and they're really handy. They do a good job, and they're easy to use. Let me go ahead and work on that real quick. All right, so having taken those screws out allowed me to slide this out of there. And this slides up into this arm here. I had to move it around a lot to get that out of there. But now let's see if this will kind of come apart now. If I open these up, maybe that's it, like that. Okay. Because I'll show you in a second here once I get this out of here. So one side's going to have, this has the cable running up into it. See, there's the wire, and it's going to run up through this arm here. I may have to just take this out of here, so let me do that. All right, well, after some wrangling and pulling and tugging, this came out of this sidearm, and then this front lifts away like this. So now we can see inside, and we see that it's very dusty in here. You can see the dust on there. And it doesn't spin very well. You can see it is spinning, but it's a little tougher than it should be, I think. So what I'd like to do now is I'll dust it off, just using a little bit of a brush, and then we'll try to see if we can get it fired up here. Okay, so now we're going to plug it in. We got a lot of that dust off of there. Let's see what happens. And that's not bad. Could have just been loaded up with dust and needed to be cleaned out. I think we'll put a little bit of oil on it and see if it's going to keep running. Alright, sorry about that. I didn't show you this part. I just took some screws out of the motor. Here's the blade, and there were 2 screws in here, 1, 2. And then this part had 2 screws that are still in there. And it all comes apart, and here's the bearing, the lower bearing, and you can see how credited that is with dust. We'll get it off of there. There we go. So that looks all right. And so what's going on is this goes down through the windings here. That's what those are, I believe. That's what you call them. And then it comes into here, and this should spin very freely. And I can feel already this is kind of cruddy. So it needs a little bit of cleaning up. There's probably some, yeah, I can feel that there's some varnish on this surface that has built up, which usually is a little bit of heat and dirt mixed with a little bit of grease, and pretty soon you get something that just kind of doesn't stick very well, or doesn't spin very well. Can you see what I'm doing here? That needs to spin very freely, and I'm not, it's just sort of going slowly. And then the blade part, that spins more freely in this one, but still should do better. So I'm going to clean these up, and we'll see about putting a little bit of oil on, on this surface here. All right, so in this case, because there's some crud on there, you can see it spinning so much better now. Oops, see that? All right, good, and this one too. So this one's spinning very freely. What I started with was this stuff called contact cleaner, and it's a very good solvent for that kind of stuff. It's got a very chemical smell to it, but it does a great job. And now what I'll do is put a little bit of this stuff on there. I like this, the 3-in-1 oil. It's lightweight, and it just does well with these kinds of things. So I'll put a drop in here, put a drop on there, and a drop in here. I don't want too much oil on it, but that'll help to get it all cleaned up and spinning nicely. It's already spinning so much better. All right, so that's got a little bit of grease or oil on it, and so you can see that on my fingers, and spinning very nicely. This one and this one. So let's put her back together. Oops, there we go. Get out of the picture there. Spinning nicely on that one and nicely on this one. There we go. So let's put it back together and see how it spins. Okay, so back together, at least sitting out here on the bench. See how it does. Oh yeah, nicely done. Now that's noisy because it's sitting on this cutting board area here, but it should be quieter when it's in there. Oh yeah, that's blowing a lot of nice air. Okay, let's get her back together and see how she does. All right, we got it this far. Let's see if the switch works down here. And there we go. Look at that. Nice and quiet. And it still rotates just fine. So you can point it different directions. Good. And the final piece goes on. Well, not the final piece, but this top piece goes on like this. It just slips right in there, hopefully. Well, I had to bust the plastic out of here to get this cable restraint out of there, and so I'm going to just hot glue it back together, and then we'll clamp it down with the top there. So I'll just carefully put some hot glue around it. There we go. We'll keep building that up. That's what it looks like there, but I want to keep it upright so that it kind of stays there like that. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Well, it's not the prettiest repair, but it'll keep that cord in there and make that safe. So time to put this back on, and then we'll be done. All right, time to put those little feet back in. And we'll check it one more time. And hopefully we are done. All right, there we go. Again, not the prettiest repair back here, but usually you don't see this side of it. Okay, let's try it out. Okay, so let's check it out here. Rotate it up here, turn the switch on, and there we go. Let's Just a little bit of dust blowing out of it. But yeah, and there we go. You can kind of point it up and down lower, and it's back in service again. So rather than being in a landfill, it can keep us cool in the summertime, keep the air moving. All right, well, thanks for watching. Turn that off. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you want to. It's a big help to the channel, and we sure appreciate it. Catch you in the next video. Bye.